course, it's time to talk streaming stocks. I mean, for example, we've seen Netflix soaring and hitting all-time highs recently as it continues to dominate the sector. But what do we need to know about the group, the consumer demand, and more? Joining me right now in the panel, Paul Dergarabedian, Senior Media Analyst, Comscore, and Jason Britton, President, CIO, Reflection Asset Management. Thank you both for being with us. So, Paul, I'll start with you. I hit it off with Netflix. There's so much going on in the industry. Which story do you think is the most pertinent right now? And start with that one, please.
Yeah, I think for Netflix, I mean, they just have such a wide array of content on their platform, from streaming live sports events to obviously reality TV shows, originals as well, and of course their movies offerings, which are plentiful. So I think for Netflix, they're like this go-to one-stop shop for a lot of various content, but there's a lot of competition out there from all of these other streaming services, of course.
Right, understood. Jason, what are you watching most closely right now?
I think Paul hit the nail right on the head. It's a function of who's going to win the content game, right? And you're talking about original content and live sports, and that's going to be what drives this entire industry in the next 3 to 5 years.
And who do you think is leading right now in your mind, Jason?
I would echo Paul's comments on Netflix. I'm also really interested to see what kind of synergies and what sort of content comes out of Paramount with the new potential Skydance merger, if they can pull that off. That'll be interesting. That's one I'm really watching. And I know we were going to talk a little bit about Warner Brothers, but I don't think we've seen the final amount of pain of what's going to happen when everybody realizes that TNT is not going to have the NBA come next season.
Yeah, and you make such a great point, gentlemen, about live sports. I mean, that's a huge part of this mix. It's something we've been talking about for a time, and it takes a big investment to get those live sports, also to just create content generally, but to get those live sports such a big deal. So let's talk about what's going on with Warner Brothers at this time. I mean, it did jump. It has had streaming growth. That's been good news there. We've seen some price target raises also. Some of your thoughts on this one. Jason, I'll give you the lead on this one.
So it was a mixed quarter where you did see some increase in, I think it was 5.4 million new customers in the streaming side of things. The real challenge with them, and the reason for the 8-cent surprise and the loss, in my opinion, was just studio revenue didn't perform. They'd really year over year, they had a very poor showing. They didn't have anything close to any of the blockbuster hits that they'd had previously. And of course, to the point where the CFO and CEO felt compelled to mention it on the earnings call, saying, no, don't wait. The Minecraft numbers haven't been baked in yet. Wait for the second quarter. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Right,
and I agree with Jason. I totally agree with Jason on the Warner Brothers part of this too. And if you think about the first quarter for the box office in March was down almost 50% versus last year. Then comes along April, and you have the Minecraft numbers coming in, which were huge, carrying over from that movie then to Sinners, which is also a Warner Brothers property. And wow, what a difference a month makes for any given studio or streamer. And now we're going to have all this content like a Minecraft movie and Sinners. Once those hit Max, I mean, those will obviously be huge draw. And in fact, they may get more subscribers or new subscribers or less churn by having people saying, hey, I want to see Sinners either again or for the first time, or a Minecraft movie. And Paramount, as well, as Jason mentioned, for me personally, I'm addicted to the show Mobland right now with Tom Hardy and Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan, by Guy Ritchie, and directed many of the episodes. And wow, what a show that is. So it's really about content. Content is king, absolutely.
I love when people tell me what shows they're addicted to, because I'm so out of pocket when it comes to the shows, and it gives me great pleasure when people tell me what they're watching. At least I know, what's hot and what's not overall. I mean, and you make a great point, box office weakness now won't last, because once they start to get in those big numbers of some of those biggies like Minecraft and Sinners, that's going to be tremendous. Subscriber churn is an issue, because it's expensive to have a streaming everything's expensive. But how many streamers can you have? You got to pick and choose. Paul, what do you do, or how do you try and keep those folks, right, to stop people from just signing up and quitting and all that? Where are we on that, and which kind of companies lead?
Well, I think part of that, I think Netflix is kind of at the forefront. It's almost like a utility. People just have to have it. If it's not in your, quiver of shows on your app, or on your Apple TV with all the various icons, it's got to be right at the top. And that's how I judge what people like and what they're going to keep, by seeing what they've moved to the top of their queue, so to speak, within their, let's say, whatever platform they're using or device to get to the stream. But yeah, there's a lot of consumer confusion. I think what streamers have to do is hope people don't go, hey, I haven't watched that streaming service in about 2 months and I'm still paying for it. Or hopefully they're watching it so much they don't care that they're paying for it. They'll stick with it.
Right. I mean, so what's in the top 3 on your list on your phone, folks? We want to know. Disney Plus may be on there. Jason, what say you?
Well, so I think it's 100% a function of where you are in the station you're in life. I have a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old, and if I didn't say Disney Plus, there would be a mutiny. So Disney Plus is literally top of mind in this house across the board. Even though Disney's had some challenging issues with original content and some of the movies haven't been as successful as some of the other blockbusters, it's still a go-to in this house. Again, not to piggyback on Paul's comment, but Netflix, I think, is in everybody's queue. I'm a big subscriber of Paramount. Pretty much anything Taylor Sheridan puts his name to, regardless. Waiting to see if they come out with the next episode of Landman. Love Billy Bob Thornton. Put that on your list, Nicole. If you haven't seen it yet, it is definitely worth turning into. It's Billions meets West Texas. It's a huge win across the board. But I think we're really going to see the media properties, the streaming firms, and the linear cables really draw a line in the sand. And you don't have to look any further than this is the first quarter where they've started to report results at Warner Brothers in those segments and units to make it real easy to spin off if they wanted to, following basically NBC, Comcast, and that whole group.
Right. I think the two of you are at the cool kids table. I appreciate this
I have to say, Jason wearing a bow tie, yeah. I mean, I can't compete with Jason's bow tie. I'm just saying. I wore a tie. I thought it was, it's a tie. It's a tie, if you will.
Thank you both so much. So Landman, Mobland, I got you. Jason Britton, Paul, Dergarabedian, thank you.